If you want to spend a career in the trades and you don't want to have a knee replacement at the end of that career, then you're going to need to have stronger knees than most people. So in this video, let's talk about the 3 muscles that I recommend to train to strengthen the knee, as well as my favorite exercise for each. Real quick though, my name is Brandon and I'm a doctor of physical therapy that specializes in fixing and preventing pain caused by working a physically demanding job. So what are those 3 muscles we need to strengthen to protect the knee? I'm going to tell you and then I'm going to show you. So first we got the quadriceps. And I called this one Mr. Obvious because as we can see here, it's that front thigh muscle. Most people would think of this instinctively when you think of strengthening the muscles that connect to the knee because, well, it directly connects to the knee. And then the next muscle to discuss is the gluteus maximus. So I call this the big boy in the back. Most people are going to be aware of what the muscle is, but not everybody is aware of how it contributes to knee strength. So it's the muscle right here at the back of the hips. It doesn't actually attach down to the knee. Instead, it helps to take load off of the knee. So it's a bit of a misnomer to say that this strengthens the knee, but if we strengthen the hips, then that means with every squat you do, every step up you perform, anytime you go up and down stairs, that more of the load gets to go through the hip and less of the load goes through the knee. So therefore we are strengthening or protecting the knee, basically protecting it from degeneration over the course of years. And then the third muscle to discuss is the gluteus medius. I call this one the redheaded stepchild because everybody forgets about it. It's a relatively unknown muscle. If we pull up Mr. Anatomy Guy, we can see that it is actually a little bit deep to some of the other muscles. We can see a little bit in the previous view, but it kind of hides in there and it's on the side of your hip. So if you just touch the side of your hip, you'd be touching the gluteus medius. It's not a very big muscle, but the impact is large when it comes to protecting the knee. If you've seen somebody squat and their knees bow inwards, it's because they have a lack of gluteus medius strength or control. So now let's jump into how you can strengthen these 3 muscle groups. Now, obviously, there's a ton of different exercises you can use to strengthen each, but these are simply my go-to, my favorite ones, assuming you don't currently have pain that would limit you from performing them. So with the quadriceps, again, that front of the thigh muscle group, it's a simple barbell back squat. So getting some heavy weight on your back, squatting all the way down and coming back up. Now, of course, this will work out other muscles, will also work out the gluteus maximus, but for most people, they're going to feel it mainly in their quad. Now, if we want to target the gluteus maximus more specifically, they're going to perform a movement like this, a rear lunge. So a barbell would be preferred if you have the strength and stability to control it, so you can load that muscle even more. But you also, as you can see here, can use dumbbells or kettlebells just in your hands as well. So again, with this movement, it is going to isolate the gluteus maximus a little bit more, but you're definitely going to feel this in the quad as well. And a quick cue for this is to imagine you have an egg under your knee. You need to make contact with the egg, but you can't break the egg. So make sure you're going all the way down to the knee tap, but don't actually crush your body weight down on your knee. That helps to strengthen the gluteus maximus more, and it just helps to protect that knee that's in the ground. And then finally, for the gluteus medius, we have hip abduction. It just means lifting the leg out to the side. My favorite version is with a cable machine, as we can see here, versus a band, just because a cable machine allows you to load it up with a lot more weight. And then a cue for you here is to make sure that you're not holding on to anything. You may have to hold on to something in the beginning, just so you can kind of learn the movement. But as we can see here, you should be able to perform this in single leg stance. And the cool thing about this is that you are actively strengthening the muscle on this side, but you're also stabilizing the muscle on this side, which is why I like this one so much compared to the seated version where you're lifting your legs out and in, because we're getting that active stability at the same time. And then to wrap this up, let's talk dosage. So for each muscle group, you want to perform a minimum of about 3 to 6 sets per workout, performing each workout about twice per week. Now, if you are an avid weightlifter, then you may be able to do way more than this. I'm really specifically talking to people that are currently not lifting regularly and they're looking for a routine. And then you'd want to perform each set for about 6 to 12 reps. In my experience, most people get the hip abduction and the rear lunge wrong here. They'll perform 15 plus reps. And that's just not ideal for really strengthening a muscle group. That's a little bit better for endurance. And then finally, you should be performing each exercise to near failure. This is again a common mistake I see, especially with the hip abduction. A lot of people will do that just until the point where the muscle starts to burn a little bit. But even though it's a small muscle, you train it just like every other muscle group. You train it to near failure if you want it to actually grow big and strong. And that's it for today's video. Thank you for everybody that was suggesting a video on knees. You are the inspiration for making this video. If you guys want a specific video for a question that you have, then all you got to do is head over to the Rugged Rehab website or send me a DM and I will add it to the video queue.